Alright, so doing a follow-up video to my previous one that was describing some kind of preliminary theories, possibilities for identifying these Afro-Eurasian gatekeepers in the ancient Egyptian Book of Two Ways. You know, because the Book of Two Ways, it has like a map of America here, and you know, this is the West Coast. It has America inside out in this version, where the West Coast is on this side and the East Coast, like Western Canada, yeah, it's inside out. So like it's looking at America, which is Egypt's underworld, from underneath, like straight through the planet from Egypt. But anyway, this is Alaska right here, so it may be that since these Afro-Eurasian gatekeepers are, you know, like these ones here are right across from Alaska, it may be that these represent Siberia. And so I was checking that, and it seems that, you know, there might be a good fit for that. You know, this is like Kamchatka. But I wanted to go into more detail about the gatekeepers and the accompanying text. Let's see, so this is doesn't work. Nothing works on my computer. It's amazing. But if it worked, I could show you what this all is. Basically, that this would be Siberia here, the Kamchatka Peninsula, and then these little islands that come off the tip would be the white parts of this little like snake or worm there. I don't know, it's just weird to me that nothing works. Nothing works. Okay, cool, thanks. Modern technology, you're so great. But Japan, so Japan would be the largest of all the gatekeepers, basically the largest one on the planet, at least in this system. The second closest would be this one right here. And then, or between that and this one. So I think this one is maybe Kamchatka, these three birds. And then this kind of worm snake thing with different dots and stuff inside it seems to be the islands emanating from Kamchatka. Yeah. So strange. I've never seen, like, it's gray, so you can't make it smaller or bigger. I've never seen that. Let me see if that's on here too. Yeah, apparently my whole computer is completely worthless. Fucking garbage. Anyway, so I'll see if I can still do this video. So I think that's 11. That's number 11, like 34, I'm pretty sure. So I have to go, I guess probably go to the top. So I just copied this entire book because it's like costs a fortune, and it's the only way I could Ancient Egyptian Book of Two Ways. Um, so anyway, to skip ahead, the Japan seems to have been called the perfect Akh, or the perfect spirit, and yeah, so I don't know where the fuck it is. These are all 10 something. It's around here. It's around 11. Okay, so 1131 is adjacent to it. There's nothing actually in 1131, I think. And then 1132 is Kamchatka. So 1132, I don't know how well you guys could read any of this, but gate of flaming front, hidden back, in which there is a man who is bound. It is in the firmament with the sun for a duration. I am Noon, Lord of Darkness. So Noon is potentially just the ocean. I have come that I may have power over the way, and that his faces may be afraid of me. I am the one who is heavy for you on your shoulders. So this is the spell that you say you address to Kamchatka, basically, seemingly. For you, the two shoulders, when I said that you reached the Father, I have come here from Heliopolis, that I may be crowned with the Mighty One. So Heliopolis is like Cairo, basically. That I may see the bull of Heliopolis in their form, that I may see water in darkness. Say to them, I know them by their pictures. I saw their mother's delivery. May I draw for you among them the name of, I think it's the name of the person whose coffin it is, or whose tomb it is, Bull of Heliopolis, that they may illuminate me inside. Okay, so Kamchatka is the gate of flaming front, hidden back. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, but works for me. 33 is, I think, between Kamchatka and, or what seems like it may be Kamchatka and what seems like it may be Japan. So it says, I show this way on which I pass. I am Usurnen, Lord of Secrets. I am mightiest of all Chenut gods. I am the squalor of the lungs. As for Shu, he passes by the something on the sledge. Mine is my father. Okay, so Shu represents like the air, I think, and or mountains maybe, and probably is like a planet or star or constellation also. So this one is for Japan, which is the largest gatekeeper on the planet. And gatekeepers are called Akhs, AKH, which means like these kind of often translate as spirit, but it might mean something else. It might mean shadow or something, but basically it means like peninsulas and land masses, islands and stuff. All right, I can't really read it through this, so I'm just going to read it. Open to me, and then I shall sleep. Open to me. All right, everything's conspiring to sabotage my video, but I'm getting this information to the world regardless. Open to me, and then I shall sleep. Open to me, and I shall be protected from them. So this is talking to Japan, it seems like. So it's saying like, open to me, like if you can either, like if you can go between the islands of Japan and get behind them, get to the west of them, then you're protected from the open sea. So that might be referring to, then I shall sleep. Open to me, and I shall be protected from them. So them, maybe the ocean, storms and stuff. It is a perfect spirit who guards the gate of the mansion of numerous faces. So I'm thinking that's translated from perfect Ach. And so I don't know if it's the perfect Ach because it's so big and it's such a perfect gatekeeper that blocks so much of the coast, or if it's just because it was so holy to them, or what exactly that means. And it says here in the notes that it says like in the text it says perfect spirit who guards the gate of the mansion of numerous faces, but in the notes it says that the mansion of numerous faces, I don't know where it says this, but oh yeah, numerous faces could also be the name of the perfect spirit used in opposition with many faces. So it's saying basically that would be not just what Japan is guarding, but that would be Japan itself, would be the perfect spirit of numerous faces. So that would make a lot of sense, because in it's the most kind of disparate gatekeeper that I know of, because it's so many different islands that are so close together, but they're still separate islands and still potentially all included in the same deity. And in General Seppi's map of America, in his book of Two Ways, there's some text that may be referring to the Falklands, and it refers to the Falklands as one deity with two faces. And since the Falklands are two islands that are very close together, it would make sense that Japan would be an Ach of many faces, since there's like 6 islands or however many in the archipelago. So I have come after I have traveled the waters. I moved about until you called, and I passed by the shoulders of Osiris. So I believe Osiris is Afro-Eurasia itself. And so I'm not sure which part of Afro-Eurasia the shoulders are. Maybe something in Southeast Asia. He knows that mine are those who are in the gates, their guardians. I am a lord of traveling who was not opposed afterward. I went after my face not having been around you, like Atjen and the 2 companions. Not sure exactly who Atjen is, or if that relates to Japan or not. Mine is traveling here. He causes that I be a mummy like the one who raises himself. I am more excellent than the Lord of Places when I see that he makes them in their form. I have come here from Dep, that I may see the growing plant, and that I may see it in my day. The mansions being to his face, my head will be mine, my arms will be mine, and my legs will be mine. I am wrapping up who is in depth which is on him having become him. I am he. I am wrapped up who is in darkness. So I'm not sure, like supposedly Dep is a ancient city in the Egyptian Delta, but who knows? Maybe it could also refer to something in Asia. I'm not sure. Sometimes cities in Egypt are mentioned in spells addressed to gatekeepers elsewhere. So yeah, so there's that. And the other thing I wanted to show was just the, if possible, to show why I think that this shape right here might be the Indochina Peninsula, which I had mentioned in my previous video but didn't get a chance to show. Of course, it will be hard since nothing works. Maybe it does work now. Nope. Oh yeah, now it works. So this right here, it's probably just gonna freeze on me like this, knowing my shit computer, but so this, like all this stuff is basically made presumably as if one is traveling eastward. Like let's say this potentially might be the Red Sea, and then somebody's traveling eastward along the southern coast of Asia. And then, so if they would reach this, it could potentially be this thing here, because it's something that is somewhat at an angle. Well, I guess it's not really at an angle in the beginning per se. It's basically north-south. But it's the way that it has this large thing on the, kind of the eastern side of this is huge, this huge kind of thing that does kind of have a shape like a leaf. And then the other side is, I guess that's as much as it'll let me do. Weird. All right. But you can see a little bit how on the other, how like right at the base, right where it twists, or, right where the stem connects to this kind of leaf thing, it's also sticks out a bit the other way. There's this little kind of tuft or small kind of peninsula there that you would be able to see better if my computer worked and I could actually like blow up the image. But now it's gonna work. Now it's gonna blow it up so much that nobody can see anything. It's garbage fucking machine. All right, so there it is. So it's not like a complete facsimile or whatever, but one can see how potentially this could be represented as that. And this little piece on this side would represent this little peninsula here. And then, of course, this big part on the other side would represent this whole part here. So I think this is 3 or 4 countries. forget which. I think Thailand is one of them, and I don't know, maybe Malaysia or something. And then this gateway may be this whole thing, that that this is the guardian of this region or gateway, gate hall section of Asia. And so I'm still not sure exactly what this is. This long, skinny gatekeeper. I was thinking, at first I was thinking that was this, but then the size of it wouldn't fit. So I was thinking it might be this peninsula or this peninsula or this peninsula. None of those quite seem long enough, but maybe it was somewhat erroneously portrayed. And so yeah, I'm not sure if I can flip this around much, but like if you're sailing from West Asia to America going east, you'd be going along here, and anything that's right along the coastline that's going to block your passage is going to be a gatekeeper. So certainly this Indochina Peninsula blocks your passage, and it makes it so you can't really sail from West Asia to East Asia without going all the way to the equator. So you gotta hope it's either winter time or somehow you're prepared to sail through the equator. And so yeah, these would be the main contenders, would be potentially, first this one, which might be that, and then one of these, maybe this little peninsula or something might catch you if you're sailing up there. So that might be this one. It's not exactly clear what this is. And then these three birds might be Korea, because it seems like three birds together represents a peninsula, just like Kamchatka is the much larger three birds. So after the small three birds, which might be Korea, you have the rabbit, which might be Japan, with its legs, tail, head, ears, and torso, and pelvis there. And then the next one would be, the next thing that would block your passage would be Kamchatka, which is potentially these three birds and these little islands sticking out from the end. So anyway, I just wanted to give that further background information. In terms of the question of what the other ones are, I was saying that there's a chance that this one is the Red Sea, that somehow that this bird with the pointy beak, its beak might be the Horn of Africa here, and then this smaller animal may represent the coast of Arabia here. So those would both be gatekeepers, and especially if there's somebody's sailing from Egypt here and sailing out to the sea, they're going to have to contend with any obstructions along both coasts, and potentially both coasts by themselves are a sort of obstruction, or they certainly narrow the passage. So yeah, I'm not sure what the rest are. There are other ones, but like Britain might be one. They probably go around to the other side of Africa and maybe Europe. There's my comparison again of that. So mess on here, but I was going to see if I could find a image of the other one. So this is not a less clear image, but it shows here's another little peninsula here. I'm not sure if this is in Africa or where. And then there's this thing here. I wonder if Britain is this, but it might be something else. And then there's these little guys here, little kind of ibexes or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which look like the way that Japan was originally represented in the 5,500-year-old Heerakonpoleton maps. That was when all islands were depicted basically as ibexes. But these must be some relatively small islands somewhere that obstruct passage. So, that's the deal. So yeah, it's hard to know, like, could this be Britain and this Ireland? Who knows? But they do kind of seem attached to each other. But then again, maybe they were still attached when this was made. I don't know. I know that the Britain was attached to Europe at some point, and then Ireland was attached to Britain at some point. So, because that would be another decent candidate, because it's at least relatively close. Britain is relatively close to the coast here. And maybe at some point it was much closer when the sea level was lower and when there was much more land. I mean, undoubtedly it was closer. I mean, at one point it was attached to Europe, but when it was first detached, it might have still been very, very close. So it may have still been marine obstruction. So there you go. I'm not sure if it deals with the Mediterranean or not. Yeah. Guess there's some chance that this little peninsula could be like Italy or something. But you'd think that the Rock of Gibraltar might be included too, and like the Pillars of Hercules. But who knows? Anyway, it's early days. Hopefully I'll get help to decipher a lot of this stuff eventually, but if not, it's going to take me a while. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that, I guess. And I think it's made to like these type of maps are made to just sail along the coast, so it's assuming basically an uninterrupted sail around the planet, like maybe starting here or something, sail along here, south, along here, along here, along here, to here, and then over to Alaska, and then south to Chile, and then to Argentina, and then north to Brazil, and then west to or northwest to Central America and Mexico, and then northeast to Newfoundland, and then north to Baffin and Greenland, and then across to Iceland and Scotland and do the whole thing again. It's like a uninterrupted line of travel that you could conceivably take across, around the planet, and much easier than just trying to sail the open sea, much safer. But the only trick is knowing the gatekeepers. So if you don't know the gatekeepers, it's not so easy. But if you know that Newfoundland here is a gatekeeper, if you know that Baja California here is a gatekeeper, and that Vancouver Island and or Olympic Peninsula is a gatekeeper, and the Alaskan Peninsula is a gatekeeper, then you will know how to avoid those and navigate around them and carry on, and you can sail at will around the planet in relative safety and ease. All right, so that's my spiel, and thank you very much.